And I also love talking about
Okay.
Keenan Allen because he's been a topic of conversation, Greg. There's this notion, this talk on Twitter right now that
Yes.
Keenan's looking a little heavier, looking a step slow, and
We're gonna start.
there's the
We're gonna
narrative going around.
we're gonna start calling him the Doughboy. I mean, like, come on. We were joking around, tongue in cheek. Every time he was making a play today, what's the nickname we should try to come up with? Because yes, Albert Breer, put out an article about his playing weight. And that kind of got everybody up in arms, around 2:30. If I pull up the exact article, our guy Gary Ross was helping me out, sending, Sports Illustrated reported on it. And then, Albert Breer, talking about different people's playing weight, saying DeAndre Swift lost weight down from 220 to about 205. And then he said from there, a big receiver group with Keenan Allen at 230 pounds, DJ Moore at 220, and Rome Odunze at 215. And that caught a lot of fans off guard. Hey, he's, oh, wow, 230 pounds. Keenan Allen is a big dude. And then combine that with some of the breakdowns we've gotten here the last couple preseason games from JT O'Sullivan on his QB school, who he does an excellent job, and he, calls it how he sees it. And he was calling out Keenan Allen on some routes that he thought weren't fast enough. And, I think he always prefaces by saying that it's nothing personal, but it's just what the tape is showing him. And that he just kept emphasizing, like, guys, this isn't fast enough. And maybe he isn't running at full speed because it's preseason. And this is the first time he's played preseason games in like 4 years. Yeah. He's been in the league a long time and he's had an illustrious career. That being said, Nick, fans are certainly, it's just become a lightning rod conversation. Is he too big? I'm not worried. I mean, are you?
No, look, based off of everything I've seen at training camp, like Keenan Allen's still cooking guys because of his route running, able to separate and get open. Maybe the only guy he hasn't really consistently got is Jalen Johnson. But I'll say this. I don't think anybody has consistently beat Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson has been the most consistent player of this entire training camp. Like, he's shut down.
Ask the Bengals at joint practice how Jalen Johnson did with T. Higgins.
It's becoming like, Greg, if you throw at Jalen Johnson, it's almost like before the pass is even complete or gets you can almost put right down incomplete. Like, that's how shut down he is. But getting back to Keenan Allen, like, today, 3 touchdown receptions. And there were 2 on Tyreek Stevenson where he's breaking away on those in-breaking routes, whether it's a slant or a skinny post, like, he's creating separation. So the thing is with Keenan Allen at this stage of his career, he's not known as a burner. Speed is not his game at this point. It is the nuanced route running, understanding how to beat coverages, how to beat individual defenders. So even if he doesn't have that speed, it's okay. But again, the playing weight, what it kind of reminded me, Greg, like I'm seeing on the roster sheet, Keenan Allen's listed at 6'2", 211. You also mentioned DJ Moore being up. He's listed at 6 foot 210. I don't know. This reminds me of when they used to, I don't know, in our high school roster sheets, Greg, I was listed at 5'10", 180. I can tell you this, Greg, I have never been 5'10", 180 in my entire life. But we did that to, like, oh man, you look at that roster. He's a little bit, look how, these guys are stacking up. So I don't know. It just kind of reminded me of that because everyone's weights and heights are all being elevated. Like, hey, you don't want to mess with that roster. Never been that weight. Never will be.
Yeah, we used to hear that trick happen a lot in basketball too. There were some that used to say that Michael Jordan wasn't a full 6'6". Some would even say he was 6'4". And, so it is interesting to see if that is the case. You saw today Keenan Allen's full on talent. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns. One was on a slant. Caleb Williams throws an absolute strike. The first touchdown, then the second touchdown to Keenan Allen was my favorite play of the day. It was the exact same play that Caleb Williams had to Rome Odunze in the corner of the end zone where Rome Odunze couldn't get his feet in bounds. But this time, if you imagine that play happening literally in identical fashion, instead of hitting Rome in the top corner, he hits the trailing guy behind him, which was Keenan Allen this time, who's coming across the whole field. And Caleb fakes pitch left, rolls out right. Pass rusher starts to come in his face. He gives him a little, stutter step, changes his speed a little bit, then goes full speed around him and throws completely across his body, which is a dangerous throw for normal quarterbacks. But as we're starting to learn, this dude, Caleb Williams, might be an alien, and fires a laser to Keenan Allen coming across the middle. Essentially a perfect pass on the move. Keenan brings it in. Touchdown right in the middle. He finds that opening right there. And then the third touchdown was a skinny post, a lot like the slant pass, but a little more downfield. They worked mostly red zone today, so it was a little longer of a pass than the slant touchdown, but he comes up the field 10, 15 yards, hits the skinny post. Caleb Williams, once again, a rocket to Keenan Allen for the touchdown. So you're seeing that connection. You've seen it all of camp. We know who Keenan Allen is. He put up career year numbers last year. In what is he in? His
I think this 12th
year in the league. I was about to say 14. Like, he's been in the league forever. He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory, ladies and gentlemen. We know who he is, and he's like fine wine. He's getting better with age. And so, yes, there's going to be an adjustment this year because he's playing with a rookie quarterback, but man, you got to be able to trust what this guy can do. Look at some of the great wide receivers throughout the history of the league, and when they get to that later part of their career, of course, they're not winning with speed. They're winning with their intelligence, their savvy, their veteranship. And that's what Keenan's going to do. It's a great route runner. He understands how to get separation without this blinding speed. And he knows how to beat zone coverage all day, every day. And once Caleb Williams and him start to click on all cylinders, good luck to you trying to figure out how to stop Keenan Allen.
Yeah, and that play that you were describing where he throws across his body to get back to Keenan, that takes trust that that your receiver is going to be there, that he's going to make a play, because that's a pass that is dangerous. But Caleb, with his accuracy, and Keenan with sure-handedness and getting open, like, that's a play that you need to have chemistry with one another. And we've seen that chemistry growing from the time they got here to this point now. So going back to, I think, your original question, Greg, are you worried? I'm not. And yes, we haven't seen the connection happen in a preseason game. But again, we also said Keenan doesn't usually play in preseason game. It's nice that he's getting out there with Caleb Williams, because again, he is a rookie quarterback going through this all for the first time. So when it comes to the regular season, and if there is a 3rd down and 6 out of all the receivers that we have, you know what? I think I'm going with Keenan as the guy that I want Caleb to target on that specific play from the slot to beat whoever that nickel corner, and God forbid they put a linebacker on him. It's over with. That's the type of guy that Keenan Allen should be for the Bears in 2024 regular season. So not too worried about all this stuff right now. If he keeps doing what he's been doing in this practice, hey, he'll be just fine.
We all silly like the mayor.